glasses. If you forget your reading glasses, you're screwed. I don't even know why I need to look at notes, because Venus actually is a woman that I just met not too long ago, though I've known her from the adult industry. She is a big award-winning performer. She's also a producer of her own stuff, and just really an incredibly smart and beautiful and genuine woman that I have been lucky enough to become friends with. And so I feel very excited that when I asked her to come and speak this evening, she said she would, because I think that she has an amazing life and she has important things to talk about. So, Venus, where are you? It's your turn. Thank you.
First storyteller, Venus Lux.
Thank you. Buck, you are awesome. Thank you, Buck, for holding this event and having me here. It was abrupt. It was like, hey, can you show up? I'm like, sure. So bear with me. I'm a little nervous. My alcohol hasn't synced in yet. Had a long day, so bear with me. But how are you guys doing tonight? You guys having fun? Okay, so I'm here to tell my story tonight. Where should I start? I am 24, turning 25 this year. I am born and raised in San Francisco. For all you San Franciscans out there, represent. I love San Francisco. The only place you could see like a naked man walk on the street and like, oh, awesome, totally normal. Let me just finish my dinner. I'm Chinese descent, raised Chinese, very traditional background. You call it ABC, American-born Chinese. Typical, right? You know, Asians in San Francisco, you're like, one in a dozen. My family came from China, and I'm first generation. So that means that I'm the first to be born in America. I come from an aristocratical family of doctors and dentists, and they came to America not so long ago, and boop, came out me. It's definitely fascinating to see my family, you know, support me and tolerate in certain things. Being trans is definitely something very different for those who are in general. But for me, from my perspective, being Asian has its moments, you know, layers and layers of stereotypes. You have like, oh, Asians are cheap. Asians are smart in school. So like those expectations are always thrown on top of me as a kid. And being a love child, which is the irony of being traditional Chinese, you would assume my parents will get married before they had me, but no. I'm a single child between my mother and my father. And growing up traditional Chinese means that, you know, you go do well in school, get straight A's, or you get a beating. Which is a typical tiger mom kind of attitude, which was mostly my father. And it was definitely a moment where I was like, yeah, this is not for me at all. Conformity, so not me. Growing up, you know, to becoming trans was definitely hard to kind of discuss about. I'm kind of like the kind of new school trans where you've been cooped up in a box and no one told you that there was an alternative lifestyle. And I'm like discovering water for the first time when I hear about trans, which was through a friend of mine named Paulina, who I met through Larkin Street Services, if you guys heard of them, in San Francisco for transitional housing in San Francisco for adolescents, LGBTQ community, those who are kind of get yourself together off the streets and kind of get your life together and finding yourself and giving you that opportunity for self-discovery and understanding what you want, which was awesome. Thank you, Larkin. So with that said, I did not transition until I was 19, which sucked because I'm like, God damn, I had bigger tits by this time. I'm being on hormones. I'm like, I transitioned at 19, which was awesome. At least I discovered transgenderism. But had I discovered it at 13, I'm like, I have like double D's right now instead of silicons. Things we always wished to have that we do not have. So growing up transgender, it was definitely tough. Everyone has their moments, just like a job. You have your pros and you have your cons. Being in San Francisco definitely was an awesome experience, having that liberal opportunity of resources, social acceptance, easy to meet friends. Thank God I wasn't like Kentucky. I'd probably get I don't know, kidnapped, working in a sweatshop or something. Who knows? So thank God for San Francisco. So with those resources at hand, I was able to kind of get my life together and definitely made it to a point where I was very fulfilled to kind of be in my own body, my own skin, and not have it to fit into the gender binary. Like, oh, you're born a dude, you got a penis, you got to dress like, FUBU and Rockaware, I don't know, sorry. So that was what I was like when I was a kid. I was like, I had to kind of fit in what's fitting in, okay. Wearing like Echo jeans and G-Unit jackets, acting all dope and pimp. Yeah, not me. So especially growing up in the hood, that was kind of like my lifestyle. I had to in order to not get I don't know, bashed or something like that. But it was definitely, it had its rough and good moments in San Francisco. Met a lot of amazing people who are trans and kind of share their stories and be able to enlighten me about transgenderism and understanding that it's totally fine to have this lifestyle and you are no different than anyone else on the street, and be able to be happy, which was definitely what I was seeking for, and also kind of why I had these emotions of being so feminine and feel like I have to conform to being straight. I'm like, why? But overall, the transgender had its pros and cons, as in we use the term clocked. I don't know if all trannies out there know the term clocked. Basically means that someone knows that you got a penis, even though you're dressed as a girl. So I had my moments when I first transitioned. I was, dressing up, was on hormones, and wanted to live a day in the shoes of being a woman. And kids, could tell I didn't have much makeup on and whatnot. But from that moment, it kind of sparked me. Even though, I can't expect that being transgender is just going to be easy. So I was looking at this okay, this is an obstacle that I will expect to face, but this is who I am. This is what I'm all about, being a female and living a life as a female, and not have to fit under anyone's expectations or stereotypes. And now about what I do for a living, the irony of being Asian. Because the reason why I say that is typical Asian families are like, oh, we want you to be a doctor, a lawyer, have kids, take care of us, buy a house. And here I am, I do porn for a living. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, Mom. I could imagine generations of my family just rolling over in their graves, looking at me oh my God, this is our heritage, and this is our future. But I love it. I love sex. I have a passion for it. It's an art. It's a form of expression, and it just so happens I'm getting paid for it. So why not? To every job, has its pros and cons. I am pansexual, meaning that I'm open to all genders, anything human, as long as they can talk and they're intelligent. I don't do cucumbers, laying in beds. But I like women. I love beautiful women, exotic, European type women. And I default on men. Sorry, I am a size queen. You have to be 10 inches. Coming from a porn star, it's numb down there, so I had to feel something. So with that said, being in porn, it's definitely has opened my eyes to my sexuality. I was a typical girl, like, oh, I'm just gonna lay down and get plowed. I'm like, well, this is boring. Like I just had a great dinner and now I have to like puke it all up so you can like have sex with me. So after joining porn, it opened my eyes to my sexuality, and I'm pro-poly. I am pansexual. I love people and the chemistry that we have with each other. Porn sex is very different from personal sex. I have to say that for those who don't know about the porn industry. Yeah, so I'm still exploring myself. I'm still young, but I definitely know what I want. Sadly, I'm single, and maybe I'm too picky, or I just, I don't know, maybe I should lower my standards from like 10 inches to like 6. So, I don't know. We'll see. I'm still testing the waters. And being pro-poly is a totally separate story. Finding a monogamous relationship as being in TS is hard enough, and trying to find a poly situation, it's complicated. It's a long story short. Being in porn, I'm so picky. Like, I need to have everything. I love my options, just like a good buffet. Love my options. But definitely I'm happy now having the things that beautiful people around me, and positive energy. And even though that my family, they're okay with it, they're not fully approving, you can always make your own family and find the people that you're drawn to and accept you for who you are. And I like to draw those energies from people who say, Buck, you're awesome, I love you. Great person, and you're beautiful in your mind and your body too. So hey, call me. That's my story, and I love having you guys here and share and educate and be able to pass on this knowledge to those who aren't familiar about transgenderism, and that we're just normal people who are looking for the same things: love, respect, and happiness. So you guys enjoy your night. I'm gonna hop off on stage and get my drink, and enjoy the other stories. Thank you.
Venus Lux. What a beautiful note to end on, because every single person in this room wants love and to be accepted exactly for who they are, right?